What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Richard Revelins, Chief Executive Officer and Director at Meryllion Resources. It's a pleasure to have you on, Richard. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for inviting me in.
Yes, I'm excited to talk about the company. So can you start by telling us a bit more about Meryllion Resources and exactly what the company does?
Well, we're an exploration company. We're listed on the CSE. The ticker symbol is MYR. And our primary interest is in an area in Queensland called Mount Turner, and we're exploring for a copper moly porphyry system. We have about 50 years worth of exploration data that we've all digitized from previous explorers, including some very, very large multinational companies. And we recently completed an IP survey over the area, which has generated some very, very strong drill targets that we intend to explore immediately.
Great. So I was just about to mention, you recently released the NI 43-101 along with an IP survey. Can you tell us more about that?
In the past, there was a lot of work done. This area was initially mapped by the government of Queensland back in 1970. The Queensland government also drilled a series of holes into the project, and one of the final holes bottomed in mineralisation, in ore-grade mineralisation. Now, but back then in '74, the copper price was fairly low, and the understanding of porphyry systems was not what it is today. Now, these types of deposits are well known. There are a number of them in existence in the world, very big structures. And the science has got to such a stage that people understand that these systems tend to be very, very large once you find them. And that's what we're looking for here. This area was also put up by the US Geological Survey back in 2009 as being one of the most prospective, untested copper projects in the world. And I guess what you're going to say is, well, in 50 years, why has it been sitting there for 50 years? And the answer to that is that most of the work that has been done on this area was done specifically for other minerals, mainly uranium and gold. And it was drilled by Esso Exploration back in the 1970s. And they discovered a very large mineralized area, and it was very prospective for uranium. And in fact, they established a uranium deposit over a small amount of area. And that deposit had about 355,000 tonnes. There are a number of these occurrences, but the one thing I want to make clear is that as things stand in Queensland, there's a moratorium currently on uranium mining, which means that it can't be mined as we stand today. However, our intelligence is that that's going to change, which actually brings the uranium into play. We also have gold mineralisation that lies not far from one of the world's largest open-cut gold mines, which was the Kidston Gold Mine, which produced 5 million ounces of gold. But our main focus is on the copper moly porphyry system. And in a roundabout way, I'm trying to get to your question. There was an NI 43-101 report released in December last year, and that report was quite conclusive about the potential, particularly for copper moly porphyry. And subsequent to that report being released, we completed an IP survey over the area, and that IP survey brought together all the existing work that we had digitized. And it made the whole thing come together, and it looks like if you wrote a textbook on what a classic copper porphyry moly system would look like, it would look exactly like what we have here and what we're about to drill.
Yeah, that's very exciting. How's it like to work in Australia as a country, and also as a mining jurisdiction?
Well, Australia has always been a top-tier mining jurisdiction, very similar to Canada. We've got laws in place which are fairly friendly to mining operations there. Where we are located is in northern Queensland, and for those of your viewers that have been in in Australia have been in the tropical part of Australia near the Barrier Reef. That's where our project's located, albeit about 200 kilometres inland from those major structures. The infrastructure is there. There are roads. There's plenty of availability of water, which is important, and also a long mining history within the region. The region hosts approximately 1,000 mines, former mines, and historical workings. So the jurisdiction is good. We have our drill permits granted already. We have drillers standing by, and our next step is to go and actually drill this project and hopefully make a new discovery.
Exciting times ahead, and we know how important mining jurisdictions really are, especially in this day and age. So, what are some of the major catalysts investors and prospective shareholders should be looking out for in the near term? Like, what should we be excited about?
Well, that's really the question, isn't it? Why buy this share or recommend this share or look at this share rather than somebody else's? And mining it's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. There are all sorts of pieces of information, and quite often it takes a long time for these things to get through. If you look at IPOs, for instance, a lot of IPOs, when they raise their money, then they apply for exploration, or they have exploration permits. They have to get those granted. They have to be able to access the ground. And it's all different stages of development. We're at a very pivotal stage for the company because we have all the historical data, and it all points to something very, very prospective. We are drill ready. We plan to go out and drill 2,000 metres into this copper porphyry in 4 separate targets, all of which have the potential to be a new discovery. So it's not something that people are going to have to sit and wait for a year or two to see how we go. We will know whether we have a new discovery within 3 months.
Yeah, we all know how timeframes can be in especially the exploration sector. So that's good to know. It should be an exciting quarter. So, what's your forecast for the copper market as we move into 2023? What do you see driving the market forward? I know right now your focus is on copper and moly.
Yes. So anything, as we know, in the battery metal space is of interest to investors, and copper will continue to form a big part of demand for electric vehicles, green power, so forth. So, I'm not a person who forecasts where the price will be or should go. I'll leave that to somebody else. But the general demand and the market outlook for copper remains very strong. Similarly with moly, moly's a material used in the hardening of steel, and we believe a similar geological signature to a mine in Colorado owned by Freeport called Climax. And Climax produces about 30 million pounds of copper a year, or has capacity, moly a year, or has the capacity to do so. So that's a fairly close comparison to what we believe we're looking at geologically.
So quick question, why do we, hear so much about copper and not as much about molybdenum? Like, why doesn't it get as much attention, you could say?
Well, firstly, I think because it's so hard to pronounce. So you did a very good job of that. I've been in the mining industry for 30 years. I still find it hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
But it's one of those lesser known metals, and its value as compared to precious metals, gold and copper, is far lower because it's an industrial metal used in the hardening of steel. And there aren't too many mines producing moly in the world right now. As I said, the Climax mine in Colorado is probably the largest. And but there will be continuing demand as long as there's continuing demand for hardened steel.
No, that's very interesting. I'd love to learn about these things, and also, educating our viewers. So where's the best place for investors and prospective shareholders to go for more information on the company?
Well, as I said, we're listed on the CSE under the code MYR. All our news releases are available there. And also our website has our technical reports, the NI 43-101 report, the IP survey results, and that website is meryllion.res.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Richard. It's been a pleasure, and look forward to having you back. Best of luck with all of your projects and everything going on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
If you like these videos, kindly hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Drop us a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. And finally, always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. Furthermore, this video may or may not have been sponsored by the companies that we've profiled within this video, and we may or may not own shares of any of the profiled companies in this video. If you want to know the full disclosure details, check the description down below along with thoroughly reading our disclaimer. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.